Good day, everyone. Welcome to the first training section for emotional intelligence. This is JDI Global Limited, and we are an organization that centers on shaping individuals, organization, and maximizing our potentials of people. So we are organizing this training for every person who is an educator out there. And I sincerely apologize for starting a bit late behind schedule. So, however, we will commence the training immediately as our facilitator for today is readily available. So, without further ado, my name is Daniel Chike Uzun, the CEO of JDI Global Limited. And today I will be introducing the facilitator of today that will be anchoring the first module of today's class. Um, Her name is Mrs. Agnes Uche Nwodo. She's an economist, a counselor, and a consultant. Mrs. Agnes Udo is happily married with children and grandchildren. She is an experienced and seasoned educationalist par excellence, having taught across multiple level of classes, classroom education, which is primary, secondary, nursery, and durable. She headed nursery and primary school and secondary school at different times and in different locations. She has 35 years of teaching experience before retiring into educational consultant services. Beyond the classroom, she's also engaged in marriage and family life education, as well as career, vocational counseling, education, among other pursuits. So we have the honor to have such endowed, talented personnel to handle this first topic. She has the educational background. We have the NCE, which is the National Certificate in Education. She's satisfied as a professional student of education in social study and English. She's a BEd degree in guidance and counsel in University of Lagos, and she's also a master's in edu degree in education philosophy in University of Lagos. It's an honor to have you, ma'am. Please, you are welcome once again. So, after now, you will be hearing directly from the experts, our honorable facilitator for today. It's an honor to have you. Please, let's make welcome Mrs. Agnes Nwodo. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good morning, participants. As already introduced, my name is Agnes Uche Nwodo. I am the facilitator for today. The topic we shall be looking at this morning is Foundation of Educational Intelligence Development in Teachers, a prerequisite for effective classroom management. This is our first module. Our goal is together we build emotionally intelligent teachers who in turn build emotionally intelligent classroom management, where every learner feels safe, seen, supported, and learn effectively. Before teachers can effectively support children's emotional development, they, teachers, must first develop their own emotional awareness, self-regulation, and resilience. This first module establishes a deep understanding of emotional intelligence and its critical role in early childhood education. Our learning objectives includes as follows: develop personal emotional intelligence, build emotional awareness and self-regulation capacity, understand child development and learn emotional development stages from 2 years to 12 years. Build responsive teaching and create emotional, self and trauma care-free classroom. We have to introduce, or rather give introduction or brief introduction of what emotional intelligence is all about. By definition, emotional intelligence can be briefly defined as the ability to perceive, understand, manage, and use emotions in positive ways to communicate effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges. It is a vital skill for personal well-being, improved leadership, career, and professional matters. It is mastering your internal responses, even when external situations are unpredictable. Because when you control your reactions, you protect your peace, you protect your clarity and your decisions. Once you master your emotional intelligence, people lose the ability to control you through their reactions. For our training this morning, we shall be looking at the 5 core or 5 pillars of emotional intelligence. They include as follows. 1, self-awareness for teachers. As a teacher, you should be able to recognize your own emotions, understand what you are feeling at a particular time or particular point in time or moment, and know how your emotions impact your thoughts and behavior to others. 2, self-regulation. You should also have ability to manage your impulsive feelings and behavior, adapting to changing circumstances and controlling emotional reactions instead of being controlled by them. You should also have what we call motivation. This is having an internal drive or urge to improve in your teaching. It is being resilient in the face of setbacks and pursuing goals with constant optimism and purpose. The 4th pillar is empathy. A teacher should be able to have the ability to understand the emotions, the needs, concerns of the learners, and recognize their emotional clues in their studies and social situations. The last of the core or pillar is social skills. This is ability of developing social skills in handling relationships effectively, such as teacher-learners relationship, communicating clearly, resolving conflicts between teacher and learner, or between learner and learner, or between colleagues, and navigating social dynamics with ease. The emotions we are talking about have what we call emotional triggers. And under this, I will give it understanding emotional triggers. What are triggers? They are stimuli that provoke automatic, disproportionate emotional reactions based on past experiences or unmet needs. There are common triggers, and they include as follows: defiance and disrespect, loss of classroom control, parents' criticisms, students or learners' apathy, time pressure or workload. The triggers have what we call trigger circle. The following can be the trigger circle. Stimulus. Stimulus as in something happens, and each time it happens, that come into circle. Interpretations of events or comments. Brain assign meaning. Feelings arising from certain situations or comments. Physical body response. Behavior, that is the way we react to situations. Why do we need awareness on emotional intelligence? While our intelligence quotient is important for analytical reasoning, our emotional intelligence largely determines how we relate to other people, how we handle workplace stress, that is classroom teaching, stress, and make informed learning. Unlike intelligence quotient, which remains largely fixed throughout a person's life, emotional intelligence is a set of flexible skills that can be learned, practiced, and strengthened at any point in time. How to develop your emotional intelligence. You can actively build your emotional intelligence through daily habits such as practice mindfulness. By this, I mean, take a few moments each day to check how you are feeling without judgment. 2, pause before reacting. Give yourself time to process an emotion so you can respond logically rather than impulsively. 3, listen actively. Pay close attention to your learners whenever they speak, focusing on their verbal and nonverbal cues to build stronger empathy. The 4th one, seek feedback. This is by way of asking trusted friends or your colleagues how you come through in tense collaborative situations. Their feedback will give you a picture of yourself. We need to understand developmental stages, emotional developmental stages in our learners, and we shall be focusing on from 2 years to 12 years. As a teacher, you should be able to identify stages of brain development and emotions of your children, age by age, and their developmental capacities. You should be able to recognize their needs versus their behavior. Note, their needs is a form of communication, and this can be done using the iceberg model, emotional intelligent responses, create safe environment and attachment by creating psychological safety, attachment theory being a secure base for the learner. Attachment theory in the classroom. By way of creating safe environment and attachment, you should help the learners develop comfort, explore confidently, trust adults, develop consistent warmth and celebration of independence. The learner also develops minimal emotions and not depend on people, but develop what we call, I can do it by myself behavior. Note, the teacher should develop gentle relationship building and respect of space. The children you teach are clingy. They need reassurances from you. They watch your reactions. So show extra consistency, frequent check-ins, and patience in handling them. In disorganized situation, the child shows chaotic behavior, uses avoidance approach, and volatile. Here, the teacher should apply trauma-informed care, extra patience, and professional support. Emotional development, age by age, that is from 2 years to 12. We shall be looking at them in this way. From ages 2 to 3, they have the following capacities. They are capable of full intensity emotions, limited control, and needs capable of co-regulation. At this stage, what does this child need? They need patient adults who use simple vocabulary and routines. Ages 4 years to 5, their capacities include, they are capable of growing vocabulary, inconsistent regulation, developing apathy. What do they need? They need emotion coaching, social skills instruction, consistent responses. Ages 6 to 8, their capacities. At this stage, they are capable of better self-regulation, growing empathy, they are peer-focused. What this group needs, they need self-instruction, conflict resolution skills, self-expression spaces. Ages 9 to 12, they have the following capacities. They are capable of sophisticated understanding. They may hide feelings. They are capable of self-conscious. What this group needs, they need respect for independence. They need privacy. They need strategies for anxiety management. And they will be detailedly explained in other subsequent modules for those who want to obtain certificate at the completion of this training. We now go to behavior as a communication. Whenever a child behaves, he or she is communicating some needs. So behavior is a communication of unmet or met needs. What we see is behavior tips. What is underneath includes unmet needs, lagging skills, underlying emotions, past experiences, and all these are negative. They create negative behavior in the child. As a trained teacher, try to build a paradigm shift from how do I stop this behavior, this negative behavior in the child, to what does this child need, so that I, as a teacher, can help. To explore the above, as a trained teacher, ask yourself the following questions. What does this child need? What skill is lagging? What happens before the child behaves like that? How am I feeling about it? How can I teach the skill? To do that, you must build your emotional intelligence toolkit. As an educator or teacher, you need to build your emotional intelligence kit for self-regulation, for high stress management or high stress moments. To do this, you should have knowledge of the following: neuroscience of stress, in the moment techniques, recovery process, physiological signs such as deep inhales, long exhales. These calm nervous system. You can also have temperature change, such as cool water, having fresh air. These reset nervous system. We can also engage in movement break, such as shake it off, stretch out, walk around. These also are processes that calm stress hormones. We can also have 4-3-2-1 grounding. This engages the sense organs to return to present moment. Can also do what we call self-talk scripts, such as, I can handle this. This feeling will come to pass. I am capable of doing this. These are referred to as self-talk scripts. And we'll also have what is called reading emotional cues, such as multi-channel approach. Examples of such includes facial expressions, body languages, and becoming emotion dictative, compassion, fatigue, and wrap-up skills. Have better understanding of fatigue. It will help you apply the prevention strategies. In emotional development, we have what is called expanding emotional vocabulary. As a teacher or an educator, you should have the capacity of expanding your pupils' emotional vocabulary, because children with larger emotions vocabulary show better emotional regulations. Therefore, they should be able to expand their emotional vocabulary, such as, when in anger, what type of feelings do they have? In anger, one is annoyed, one is frustrated, one is irritated, one is angry, one is furious, and others. When they find themselves in sadness or sad mood, how do they feel? Being in sadness, one is disappointed, one is discouraged, one is lonely, one is sad, and one is grieving. If they find themselves in a situation of fear, how do they feel? Or you as an educator, how do you feel? When one is in fear, one is nervous, one is anxious, one is worried, one is scared, and one is terrified. What about when they find themselves in joy? In having joy, one is contented, happy, pleased, excited, proud, and grateful. Advantages of emotional intelligence. It increases work performance. It improves decision making. It improves personal well-being. It reduces occupational or professional stress. It increases leadership ability, and so on. As a teacher, you should have what we call daily journaling. And this is what you practice in between sections. Take 5 minutes each evening, reflect on emotional moments using expanded vocabulary. You can also do what we call emotion reading. Choose one pupil in your class to observe. Practice reading verbal and non-verbal cues. Note your observations in the journal. You can also do what we call mindful practice. Take 10 minutes daily, morning or evening. Tracking practice log. Record how you feel without judgment. You can also do what we call self-regulation. Try each technique. Notice what works best and make sure you practice it in calm moments. A type of overview or reflections over what we've been talking in this module 1. We can have the summary as follows. Emotionally intelligent teachers create emotionally intelligent classroom management. Self-awareness in the foundation of effective teaching. Understanding child development prevents misinterpretation of the child's behavior. Behavior is communication of unmet needs and lagging skills. Teachers can be secure attachment figures for their pupils or the learners. Self-regulation techniques are essential for managing classroom stress. Expanded emotional vocabulary supports both teachers and children. Compassion fatigue is real. Prevention and self-care are crucial. Emotional intelligence is mastering your internal response even when external situations are unpredictable. When you control your reactions, you protect your peace, your clarity, and your decisions. Once you master your emotional intelligence, people lose the ability to control you through their reactions or actions. Like I said initially, this is first module. We have other subsequent modules for those who want to be certified at the end of the training. So expect us in further presentations. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting for your questions.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful explicit thought on emotional intelligence. I don't know if anyone has question. Okay, if there is a question you need to ask, you can as well ask your question. Unfortunately, we want to apologize for we couldn't go live on YouTube. But we promise by next class we'll be able to sort that out with our IT team. So if you have questions, please kindly ask this question, the questions that are. All right. If there are no questions, we would call it a day, and we'll be rescheduling the continuous part of the module by next month on failing you. Same last Saturday of the month, we would be having the next phase of the module. So please do well to make yourself available. We already have the data of those who are registered. They should be here. Unfortunately, I know some persons did not join, but we would try as much as possible to